final. Ahora Dallas hacia abajo, que retumbe hasta el cerro de la campana, porque se escuchó en lo más alto de la Arena Monterrey.
Pero ahí está el derechazo.
¿Dónde está la seguridad? ¡Se metió! ¡Dominic, no mames!
Welcome, guys, to the Tea Drop, where the brew is strong and there's lots to talk about. If you haven't been locked into AAA every Saturday night, consider this your crash course. TripleMania 34 is becoming a 2-night monster. It's going to be on Friday, September 11th at the MGA Grand Arena in Las Vegas. Then on Sunday, September 13th, in Mexico City. And yes, there's probably going to be a lot of people being in the building both on September 11th and September 13th. We are not going to talk about very lightheartedly. We are literally going to be breaking down how AAA built a main event that actually is going to mean something. The Women's Championship war that still isn't finished, the secondary stories developing underneath it, and the matches you need to watch before walking in or watching into TripleMania. So let's get to it, because by the end of this video, you'll understand the main event story beat for beat. You'll know where the Reina de Reinas championship stands. You'll know which matches belong on your essential watch list, and you'll know which major questions are still hanging over the company. So let's pour in. May 30th. That's where we're going to begin for this road to TripleMania. May 30th of this year, 2026. AAA Noche de los Grandes. El Grande Americano versus the original El Grande Americano. Mass versus Mass. A big match of the year contender. This wasn't a throwaway comedy match. This was the night AAA had to choose which version of El Grande Americano matters, and then live with that decision. One man would leave with the identity, the other would lose his mask. Now, this match was great. It was banger after banger, but at the end of this match, the original loses, and then, because of it, the mask comes off. And the man underneath the original Grande Americano is Chad Gable. But this is a line in the sand, because when this moment happened, and because this moment happened, the surviving El Grande Americano wasn't treated like WWE comedy character anymore who had overstayed his welcome in Mexico. AAA began treating El Grande Americano like a central character to their promotion. This was the version of El Grande Americano the company decided to build around. More importantly, it was the version of the Mexican crowds began claiming as their own. Now, Andrea Basarte was involved in creating additional controversy when it came to this match. Her interference in the match probably created something so much important surrounding that match. It interfered with her employment and added additional controversy. Her whole interference was connected to her employment stipulation surrounding the match. She pretty much had to be let go in order for this match to happen. The fallout became important later, and we'll talk about it later. But for now, remember one thing. After Noche de los Grande, only one El Grande Americano matters. AAA is about to test whether he can carry the company top babyface story in the promotion or get buried by Los Perros, or as you will find out soon, the dogs. Now we roll forward to June 20th. El Grande Americano makes his first major appearance on television following the Mask versus Mask war. He returns to celebrate with the audience. He thanks the people who stood beside him. He specifically acknowledges Andrea. Then he does exactly what a rising babyface is supposed to do. He points towards the AAA Mega Campeonato. And AAA answers him with chaos, because Carmen Petrovic creates the distraction. Then four men hit the ring. Daga, Angel, Berto, Bronco Nima. The shirts come up. The faction becomes clear. Perros del Mal has arrived, or been revived. They were apparently a faction from before, and they were revived. The dogs attack Americano. They leave him down and stand tall as the show ended that week. Americano announced his championship ambition. Los Perros del Mal immediately made him pay for it. That same night, backstage, AAA Mega Champion Dominic Mysterio isn't mourning to what happened. He's branding himself. Dominic declares that he is the main event of TripleMania. He calls himself the King of the Luchadors. We move to Dominic Mysterio and the King of Luchadors, because him calling himself the King of the Luchadors creates a central conflict when it comes to him. On one side, we have a masked babyface the audience is begging to claim as its own. On the other side, we have a champion who wants TripleMania to become his coronation. Dominic doesn't want to share the story. He wants to own it. He wants it to be his. Throughout July, though, Los Perros del Mal continue hunting El Grande Americano. They keep attacking him. They keep attacking people associated with him. But eventually, more people try to help him out. Still doesn't work out at all. So eventually, after all the attacks, after all the mess ups, Dominic Mysterio does the most Dominic Mysterio thing possible, I guess. He arrives pretending to be the savior of this. Not because he and Americano are brothers, and not even because Dominic suddenly respects the mask that Americano holds. Dominic wants Americano, as he said, healthy enough to lose to him on the biggest stage at TripleMania. Now, he isn't establishing friendship. Consider it livestock management, a temporary partnership. Dom and Americano reluctantly fight besides each other and become buddies, I guess. They are friends. They fight besides each other, but the distrust never disappears. Every look that you see between them feels suspicious. Every conversation has a second meaning. It is the type of wrestling partnership where you know the knife has already been sharpened. You're only waiting to see which pocket it comes from. Now, besides this story leading up to TripleMania, we have Andrea Basarte. We reach to her return because Rey Mysterio, acting as AAA's general manager, addresses the fallout from the Mask vs. Mask match, and Rey says Andrea was unjustly fired. He brings her back to the company with a raise, which she reluctantly accepts joyfully. Now, because of her return to AAA, the board is set. El Grande Americano is the rising babyface. Dominic Mysterio is the champion who needs a body for TripleMania. And Andrea is back in AAA and emotionally connected to Americano. Rey Mysterio is attempting to hold the company together as general manager, and Perros del Mal is running through the roster with no leash. Something has to break. We move to July 25th, Verano de Escandalo, week 1 from Aguascalientes. This is the essential match that you should watch also on your way to TripleMania. Dominic Mysterio and El Grande Americano were facing Daga and Angel, Los Perros del Mal. Now, this was the match that they were supposed to be like, we're working together to take down these people and everything and so on and so forth. For a moment, it looked like the temporary alliance between these two is going to work. They're working together, so on and so forth. But hey, hello, what's going on? What do you see here? He wanted a tag, but Dominic leaves. We see Dirty Dom doing what Dirty Dom always does best. He walks away. He leaves El Grande Americano alone. He's like, WTF, man. Americano, because of it, loses the match. But Dominic isn't finished. He isn't finished. The next development is what transforms this from a basic betrayal into a larger power play. Dominic doesn't abandon Americano to join Perros del Mal. He joins them. He aligns himself with Dorian and Osmos. Handshake, muscle, insurance policy. A completely different war has come to us. Dominic didn't betray El Grande Americano because he wanted to become a dog. He betrayed Americano as part of a larger, bigger story, even beyond Grande Americano. Power. And it's also a story of a power struggle against Rey Mysterio's control of AAA. That is why the story has more heat than a standard heel angle. It is personal and it's political. El Grande Americano isn't merely someone Dominic dislikes. Americano is the face the audience selected, while Dominic was busy crowning himself king of the Luchadors. Dominic holds the title, but Americano may have the people. For someone like Dominic, that is the greater threat. Yes, he is aligning himself with Osmos. He has his muscle. Now, by the end of the Verano del Escandalo, week 3, the company closes the loop. The announcement is made clear. Dominic Mysterio will defend the AAA Championship, the Mega Campeonato, against El Grande Americano in the main event of TripleMania 34. But when they mean main event, it better mean night 2. That's all I gotta say. They do it in night 1, I am gonna be pissed. Should be with the Mexican crowd behind them. Now let me say that again for everyone planning to be in Mexico City on September 13th, because that's when I think is going to be the main event. That's AAA Mega Campeonato, Dominic Mysterio versus El Grande Americano, TripleMania 34. But we need to be precise about this because the match has been announced as the main event of TripleMania. The specific night has not been publicly confirmed. It could still happen in Las Vegas September 11th, but that will be a disrespect and it will go against everything we just talked about when The Undertaker talked about what he's trying to make sure he doesn't do wrong about AAA, for AAA. This is one of them. This main event needs to happen in Mexico. I'm just saying. But anyway, until AAA officially assigns the match for a night, we treat the detail as unconfirmed. My hope is for night 2, but don't report that as facts as of yet. Maybe you'll see me in a couple weeks when they announce it and I'll have a smile on my face because they did the right call. Anyway, during the same episode, or the same special for the most part, Dominic sits down with Andrea Basarte. This video right here, if you haven't watched it, you gotta watch it because it's pretty cool. During this same series, Andrea sits with Grande Americano. He talks about what he's done recently and he rewrites the Betrayal in a classic Dominic fashion. Now, I'm not going to play the clip. I'll put it in the description for you guys to listen to yourself. It's in Spanish, but it'll have subtitles for you. Don't worry, for those that don't understand Spanish. But in simplest terms, according to Dom, Americano doubted him. Therefore, Americano couldn't be trusted. Dominic says Americano became a hero in Mexico while he was away. And at TripleMania, Dominic promises to put him back in second place. Then he makes the attack personal. He goes after Dominic's Americano standing, his importance, even his relationship with Andrea. He questions all that. Then, out of nowhere, during this whole conversation, ta-da! Liv Morgan enters the interview. Dominic gets up and leaves with her. Excuse me, Andrea, we're done here. And the segment dies on contact. But it is very clear that this story is going to be more than just Dominic and Grande. It's going to be involving Liv and Andrea. And look at this girl. Look at this. Look at this. She is like, yo, Liv is like, I'm going to kick your ass, biatch. Don't F with him. Look at this shit. Look at this. She is like, look at this shit. Like, she won't take his eyes off her. It's like she's trying to make sure Dominic doesn't fall for her, even though this girl has Grande. Look at this shit. Bitch. I'ma kick your ass. Trouble. That's me. I'ma kick your ass on the screen. I'm the champ. You're just an announcer. Can you even speak English? La la la. Anyway, this is important because the story is no longer about a masked challenger and a dirty champion. Andrea is confronting Dominic. Liv has entered Andrea's orbit, and the personal tension surrounding the Mega Campeonato is growing. But do not confuse that with AAA's actual women's championship story, because that's a whole different story. The personal storm around Dominic involving Andrea and Liv is different from the Reina de los Reinas championship war that belongs to the Flamer and La Catalina. Those are two separate stories and two separate lanes, but both are important to TripleMania. Do not mash this into one feud. Let's focus on the Dominic story, because while Dominic was busy crowning himself King of the Luchadors, the AAA's women's division was already fighting over a crown that refused to move, and we'll get to that. But this is going to be an important story. I can't, just seeing this interview makes me damn, I need to make sure to see what's going to happen next week. Is Liv Morgan going to be part of the show again? Are we going to see a confrontation between Grande and all of these three? Who knows? Cherry lips. There you go. Anyway, enough. Let's move to the women's actual matchup. To understand the women's Reina de los Reinas championship, we need to rewind back even before May 30th. And we rewind back all the way to April 11th of 2026. AAA on Fox begins broadcasting, but with a celebration. Flamer has become the longest reigning champion in the title's history. AAA celebrating more than 1,000 days. There's cake, there were balloons, photographs. Las Tóxicas were with her. And it's the complete untouchable queen type of presentation. Then the lights go out and roll in a vignette. A pink car arrives, a new music hits, a new problem walks into AAA. La Catalina, fresh out of CMLL after her contract expired in early April. Catalina doesn't solely introduce herself to the division. She walks directly into Flamer's coronation and steals the entire night. Catalina congratulates Flamer. She appears ready to leave, then she turns around and delivers the real message. Catalina isn't one of the names Flamer has already defeated. Cake in the champion's face was delivered. Oh, there we go. There's the Catalina car, by the way. Look at that. Boom. But here's Flamer. Cake was thrown at her face. The picture board was destroyed. Catalina standing tall with the Reina's championship. It's all that you need to know. It isn't a random debut. It is the statement signing aimed directly at the women's AAA has spent more than 1,000 days presenting as immovable. Catalina also isn't a blank slate rookie. WWE and NXT fans may remember her as Katrina Cortez or Catalina Garcia, if you paid attention in the other promotion. She then spent years working in CMLL. Now she has entered AAA with the type of immediate push that says she is expected to matter during the TripleMania season. And as soon as we saw this, you knew that was the case. Maybe not for Noche de los Grandes was going to be the situation. They were still building her up to make sure people want her, number one, and two, make her matter. So by the time TripleMania comes, it is full-on rewarding. AAA leaned heavily on the presentation of her. They explain her roots. She's also Chilean, by the way. She is in the same route as Stephanie Vaquer. The company even used signing imagery involving The Undertaker on the creative side of the operation for this. They wanted the audience to understand that Catalina arrival was important. More importantly, she didn't disappear after the debut. Catalina entered major multiple women's stories. She worked alongside names including Bayley and Lola Vice, which is wow, against Las Tóxicas. So they had like a 3-on-3 matches. She remained in Flamer's orbit. But then unfortunately, what people thought would have been the moment, then Verano de Escandalo placed the championship inside a 3-way pressure cooker, a triple threat. Lady Flamer defended her title against Lady Shanny and La Catalina. But if you guys haven't watched it, it's a really good match. Definitely check it out. This is the women's match you need to watch before TripleMania. You can watch the one with Las Tóxicas against La Catalina and Bayley and Lola Vice. But if you don't have time for that, this is the essential one you need to watch in preparation to TripleMania and understanding the story of Catalina. You should even watch the promo of Catalina. I will drop all these links. Don't worry. I got you guys. I'm preparing you for TripleMania. I expect no thank yous, but it will be appreciated. But I want you guys to be prepared because this is how important I feel about TripleMania. I want this to succeed in the way TripleMania wants it to succeed. So I will give you everything. I will give you every link, everything. It is so easy to catch up to this that there's literally no excuse you can't. But anyway, back to this match. Shanny and Catalina begin by targeting the champions together. They do double team attacks. They do dual covers. The obvious three-way logic. Remove the champion first, then fight each other over the crown. Unfortunately, it doesn't last. The three-way partnership never do. Control changes repeatedly. The near falls begin stacking, and Catalina applies a gory special and drives Flamer down onto Shanny. She covers both women. Still no three. I mean, Catalina spears Flamer to the outside. Lady Shanny hits Catalina with the lung blower. Then we have a 2 count. Catalina answers with running knee. Then the champion instincts takes over. Flamer knocks Catalina out of the ring and immediately covers Lady Shanny. And because of that, you can see it right here. She's trying to cover, and Flamer immediately covers Lady Shanny, and she retains the belt. That's it. It's over. Flamer retains. It's all over. Everyone's opportunity is lost. She is still the champ. Fans are mad. Look at the fans. Look at the fans. Look how invested they are. I mean, this guy looks like he's half sleeping with the hands down, but look at the women. The women are invested. That's great. Anyway, she is currently still the champ. If you remember only one women's division detail heading into September, remember this. Flamer is still Reina de los Reinas champion. Her reign has passed 1,000 days already, and La Catalina has proven that she can spear the throne. But she hasn't been able to sit on it yet. Lady Shanny also wasn't filler. She has the deepest history with the Reina de los Reinas championship of anyone in that match. Her presence made it a legitimate 3-way title fight, not a 2-way women's story with a spare body. What it means is Flamer is legit because she beat a great past women's champion. And if Catalina faces her, Flamer, and beats her, now she's even better, right? But we don't have this match officially announced yet. But chances are this is happening. We are going to get Flamer versus Catalina. I don't know which night, but we'll see. But we need to separate what is confirmed for what is projected. As of the conclusion, like I said, Flamer versus La Catalina in a singles championship match is the logical next step. It has been heavily projected as a potential TripleMania match since April of this year, but it's not yet confirmed. But here's what we know. When it comes to this, Catalina is positioned as one of AAA's premier women heading into TripleMania. Flamer retained the championship over Catalina and Lady Shanny at Verano de Escandalo. The likely next chapter is a singles match for the championship. Now, here's what remains unconfirmed is the match itself, which night is it going to be on, and obviously where in the card is it going to be the main event, is it not, and any potential stipulation. I mean, if they main event night 1, I'm happy for Catalina and Flamer. They get that moment, but chances are I think the Latin American Fatal 4-Way is going to be the main event for night 1. That's my opinion. The way WWE tends to work cards, I think that might be it. But we're going to get this match, I feel, somewhere or another. But anyway, if AAA makes it official, this is the women's match capable of stealing either night if they play their cards right. Las Vegas could capitalize on Catalina's WWE history and crossover appeal, and Mexico City could provide the crowd he needed to choose a new queen. 2 possible locations, 2 different advantages by doing that match there, but 1 unfinished championship war. So hopefully we get this. Now, let's move on. If the roadmap is saving you hours of weekly AAA catch-up, hit the like button so it reaches more wrestling marks who only show up for TripleMania. Subscribe if you want the post-show tea as the final bell rings in Mexico. Now let's cover the secondary story for this, because these next ones are the matches and angles that could steal the entire weekend if possibly done right. El Hijo del Vikingo captured the AAA Latin American Championship. Then, unfortunately, he tore an ACL and surgery removed him from action for several months. And the rightful thing they did was AAA vacated the title because he was injured. SmackDown, take a note. The company is now building a 4-way championship match for TripleMania. 3 positions have been filled as of recently. We have La Parca, who won a match, and he is in a spot. We got El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr., and we have El Fiscal, who won the qualifier involving Psycho Clown and Cruz del Toro after this happened, because a mystery attacker attacked and removed Psychos from the equation during the match. He was part of the match. He was going to win, but then this guy attacked him. And not only did he attack him, he tried to take his mask off. Look at this. He takes him out. He fights him. And this could be. He also fights security. And then he rips the mask off this man. This is sick. By the way, guys, you can't tell me this isn't sick. The fact Psycho Clown has a mask under a mask in case this situation happens. Not only is this great, this is hilarious because this man has thought of everything. This is potentially the man who's been attacking Psycho Clown for the past couple of months. And this is probably what's going to happen. You're going to see a match between these two at TripleMania. So we have 3 positions, Matt. The question is, one final position remains. The final qualifying match has been announced, and it's going to be, again, Almost, whatever his name is. The match Almost is going to be involved. It's going to be versus Damian Priest and Galeno, which is probably going to happen, I'm assuming, next week, or maybe it's going to happen in Heatwave, on the Heatwave weekend during All In. I don't know. But if Dominic and Americano represent soap opera gasoline, this 4-way for the Latin American Championship is the pure wrestling candidate to steal the show. They got major names, they got different styles in this match so far, and a vacated championship and the pressure of TripleMania on all of them. But the qualifying story also created another mystery when it comes to our road to TripleMania, and that is, who the F attacked Psycho Clown? Huh? Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Who attacked Psycho Clown, right? During the Latin American Championship qualifier, a mask horror inspired attacker wearing overalls dragged Psycho Clown over the barricade. The attacker tears Psycho Clown's mask. Don't watch, children, if you're watching this. The mask gets teared up, and then he chokeslams this punk into a pile of stairs. Not to the floor. He chokeslams him half to the chairs, half to the ground. Commentary introduced a possible Bayou flavor. The internet immediately began throwing around Drake Maroque's name. Our standard remains simple, though. Speculation is not confirmation. AAA has not officially identified the attacker. We'll probably find out this coming Saturday. We do not announce a debut based entirely on clothing, vibes, or internet guesses. What we can say is that Psycho Clown is being hunted. He's been hunted for the past month or so. The Psycho Circus Civil War energy is becoming radioactive, and TripleMania has always had room for a mask-centered horror story in Mexico City. Perros del Mal also received a direct connection to its original bloodline. During the chaos surrounding El Verano de Escandalo, the Perros attack members of the roster. Dega takes the microphone and calls the AAA roster weak. Then, and this is the best thing, they introduce Damian Sits. He is an old WCW man. He also was part of AAA, but if you guys watch WCW, you would know him. Kendo stick, and he gets his own Perros del Mal shirt. And they gave an original warning, Dios perdona, los perros no, which translates to, in English, God forgives, but the dogs do not. This connects the revived Perros del Mal directly to the faction's history in AAA, and it gives the dogs multiple possible directions. They can target El Grande Americano, they can enter Psycho Clown's story, they can attack the power structure Dominic has joined. One faction, 3 possible wars. That is how a 2-night event stays full without every story feeling disconnected. Another thing happening on our road to TripleMania, Penta. Penta also has returned to the AAA conversation during the road to TripleMania, but we need to remain honest when it comes to this. As of the latest Verano de Escandalo development, Penta's specific TripleMania match has not been confirmed. We know he's going to be involved in the Roman Reigns #1 contenders tournament or bracket towards the Raw in Mexico City. but they are saying he's gonna be involved in TripleMania. In what capacity has yet to be confirmed. Where his next television appearance is. Does Penta enter a singles rivalry? Does he get pulled into the Perros del Mal story, or does he become part of the larger struggle for control of AAA? We'll see. Now, another story. The Mixed Tag Team Championship picture could also spill into TripleMania weekend. At Verano de Escandalo Week 2, La Hiendra and Laredo Kid defeated Mr. Iguana and Lola Vice to win the AAA World Mixed Tag Team Championships. That title change was done, and unfortunately, as of yet, we don't know if a TripleMania rematch is happening. But if the match gets signed, it would be perfect undercard popcorn. This will be a great opening match, mid-card match. Lola Vice provides the NXT and WWE connection. Mr. Iguana represents pure AAA chaos. La Hierda and Laredo Kid have the championship. It already has characters, history, and stakes. So now it's the perfect thing. This could be the most underdeveloped story out of all of them, but this is probably the best one. But anyway, after this, let's build the watch list for you guys, because I want to run this like a scouting report for you guys. Fast and clean, all the essentials that you need to watch and prepare for TripleMania. Let's start with the most obvious one. The number one essential for this is El Grande Americano versus the original El Grande Americano. Mask versus Mask at Noche de los Grandes. And why should you watch this? Well, this is the birth of the current El Grande Americano as AAA's central protagonist. Chad Gable is unmasked, and the surviving Americano becomes the version AAA chooses. The next number two essential is Dominic Mysterio and El Grande Americano versus Dega and Angel at Verano del Escandalo Week 1. But why is this match important? Because this is the betrayal. This is Dominic walking out on a Grande. This is the alignment with Dorian, Roldan, and Osmos. This is why their Mega Campeonato match means more than babyface versus heel. This is all story driven, and you can watch you can watch all the promotion and the backstage talk between these two matches between Dominic and Grande, because it helps also to build that story. But if you only have time to watch matches, these are two. Number three must watch. Number three essential that you must watch. Catalina's debut during Flamer's 1000 Day Championship celebration. Now, why is this one important? This is the beginning of Catalina versus Flamer. This is also the introduction of Catalina in AAA. The cake smash, the championship grab, and the not on the list statement. This is important for the build-up for the women's main title. Now, the other essential watch that you must do, if I can pull it up, here we go, is Flamer versus La Catalina versus Lady Shanny at Verano del Escandalo Week 3, which happened last night. This one is important because this is Flamer's latest major title defense. It is Catalina's biggest AAA championship opportunity so far, and it ends with Flamers retaining through pure champion instinct. Number 5 is Grande Americano's June 20th return after La Noche de los Grandes, when the Perros del Mal ambush him. This is important because this is the beginning and the revival of the Dogs. It is also happens to be the same night Dominic declares himself king of the Luchadors. So it's a very important introduction to understanding the Perros storyline. The next moment you should be watching, like I said, is the promo. This is the number 6 essential, is Dominic's July protection story segment with Americano, the backstage segment that you see here. This is important because it establishes the fake relationship. Dominic plays savior while preparing to betray his future challenger. Next thing that is important as part of the essentials is number 7, which is Rey Mysterio rehiring Andrea Basarte. This one is important because it restores Andrea's to the company and adds personal stakes to the Mega Campeonato story in September. So what else would it be? Number 8, and this is useful context if you want to go beyond the first 7 that I did. This one is a really good match is what happened a year ago. The TripleMania 33 Mega Campeonato Fatal 4-Way main event. It was El Hijo del Vikingo defending against Dominic Mysterio, Dragon Lee, and El Grande Americano before. And this was when he had the original Grande's mask when he looks like a weird-ass bird. Look at that face. This face is hilarious, man. Look at this. The evolution of El Grande Americano's mask is something to watch. It's covering his mouth. His mouth is literally right here. He looks like a little weird bird. Anyway, the reason this is an important match, if you have time to watch, it gives you the shared history before the 2026 singles program, including Americano and Dominic. So it's a very I think if you have time, you should watch it. Number 9, I'm sorry. Another useful one that you can watch if you have time is El Grande Americano winning the Rey de Reyes this year. This one is important because it proves Americano has legitimate headliner credentials within AAA. He isn't merely a crossover meme. He is here for the long haul. Number 10 is the Latin American Championship qualifier matches. The reason these are important because they build the vacant, obviously the 4-title vacant 4-way match that could produce the best pure wrestling luchador match of the weekend. The number 11 one is La Izquierda in Laredo Kid defeating Mr. Iguana and Lola Vice for the Mixed Tag Championship match, because the reason this is important, this is a secondary championship story that could reach TripleMania stakes. It hasn't been confirmed, but you should definitely watch it. Then I don't have a picture of it, but I can put Catalina on it for the sake of it. Number 12 match that you should watch if you want more context is the Noche de los Grandes women's match featuring Catalina, Bailey, and Lola Vice against Las Tóxicas. The reason this one's important because it shows how quickly AAA elevated Catalina into prominent big stage television and shows her ability to carry the show. So here's where the tea is gonna settle. El Grande Americano went from gimmick warfare to surviving mask versus mask to becoming a target to Perros del Mal to surviving Dominic's temporary protection situation to becoming the man Dominic had to betray in order to feel like a king again. Dominic didn't merely want a challenger, he wanted control of the entire narrative. Omos provided the muscle, Dorian provides the political power. Liv introduced personal chaos and Andrea is placed on the defensive. While that war was growing, La Catalina walked into celebration marking more than 1,000 days. Smash cake into the champion's face and forced AAA's women's division into stop making it feel like there's nothing going on and we have something continuing. Flamer is still standing, Catalina is still hunting, and TripleMania 34 now has one main event sentence the entire wrestling world can repeat. Dominic Mysterio versus El Grande Americano for the AAA Mega Campeonato. If you're joining people in Mexico City, remember the distinction. The match is officially announced as the main event for TripleMania 34. While the match is not specifically confirmed, I feel it's going to be night 2. But plan your routes if you're going to Mexico City or Vegas carefully because it's going to be crazy in a good way. So don't worry. Anyway, I want some answers from you guys and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Has El Grande Americano unexpectedly become AAA's best babyface? Was unmasking Chad Gable worth it if Gable disappeared from the program afterwards? Is Dominic Mysterio the right person to hold AAA's top championship? Does adding Liv Morgan and Andrea Basarte strengthen the Mega Campeonato story or create unnecessary noise? Should Dominic versus Americano happen in Vegas or Mexico City? If Flamer versus Catalina becomes official, which night should receive it? And can the Latin American Championship 4-way steal the show? Does TripleMania need more homegrown AAA blood feuds and fewer crossover shortcuts? Or is Flamer's 1,000-day reign still protecting the championship? Or is it beginning to block the division? And here's the final question of these many questions that I've asked, and I'll probably make this the pinned comment in the clip. Is El Grande Americano genuinely AAA's leading babyface heading into TripleMania? Not the most interesting wrestler on loan from WWE, not the best comedy mask, AAA's leading babyface. The face of the company, the wrestler the building stands up for when the music hits. My answer is beginning to form, but I want yours before I walk into TripleMania weekend, and we can talk about it more then. Anyway, drop your thoughts in the comments, and as always, if the tea hit right, hit the like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.